As we all know, you can never get too comfortable in the NBA, and we got a reminder of that tonight, with the Minnesota Timberwolves and New York Knicks completing a blockbuster trade, including Karl Towns heading to New York, Julius Randle and Divencenzo heading to Minnesota, and then with a few miscellaneous pieces being included as well, but that is the bulk of the trade. And well, definitely a lot to unpack here. Some people are saying that the Knicks won the trade, and I think a majority are saying that, while others are saying that Minnesota won the trade from a contract standpoint. And definitely a lot to break down here, but we'll try our best to do it. And beginning from the Knicks standpoint, they acquired KAT, and therefore did fill their need for a short-term center. Now, Mitchell Robinson will eventually come back and maybe fill that role for them again in their starting lineup, but I think it may very well be Karl Towns for the rest of the season. No, he might not be a great center defensively, definitely not a great overall rim protector, but he's not an outright liability and he has filled that role for a team before. Now, I think it would have been a problem if the Knicks didn't have great perimeter defense, but they obviously do have that. Between OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, they might have the best wing defense and overall perimeter defense in the entire NBA. Definitely a controversial topic, but I think they're definitely in that top 3 no matter what. And I think that will be enough to make up for what KAT lacks on defense. Again, not an outright terrible defender, has about a plus 0.2 defensive box plus minus rating on his entire career. So right around average from a numbers standpoint, not a great shot blocker, overall rim protector again, but he can contest shots at the rim, can switch a little bit, definitely not into wings or point guards, but he can hold his own there and is not an outright liability. But something we do gotta factor in with KAT is without a doubt the contract that will come with him. He does have a top 10 salary in the NBA right now, and will be under contract until 2028. And although that final year is a player option, I have a hard time imagining that he would turn down $61 million. But the good thing here for the Knicks is that they can kind of stomach it. With guys like Jalen Brunson taking a discount, that opened up a lot of cap room for them in the future. You know, definitely still a pretty bloated payroll down the road, but I think they can stomach it. Brunson won't be on a max contract, Mikal Bridges is not on a max contract, so they do have some leeway there to fit in Karl Towns. Now, maybe that'll come back to haunt them, who knows, but for right now they're doing okay. And they were able to offload Julius Randle's salary, which, although I don't think it was a bad contract by any means, only collecting $28.9 million this year, and only in quotation marks, but lower than what Karl Towns will be making, and I think he did earn his salary from them. I mean, I think we often tend to forget that Randle was an all-star, both this past season and the one before that, so definitely not a bad player and probably worthy of that $28.9 million salary. But they did trade a 3-time all-star for a 4-time all-star, and KAT definitely is a bit more versatile offensively, definitely a better 3-point shooter, which will open up their entire offense compared to Randle, and probably the more talented player overall. Neither of them being great defenders, but KAT can fill that both center role and power forward role in certain matchups, so a little bit more defensive versatility and definitely more offensive versatility too. While Randle had a few good 3-point shooting seasons, he never was really a reliable nor great 3-point shooter to begin with, while Karl Towns on the other hand was a very good 3-point shooter last season, and arguably has become one of the best 3-point shooting big men of all time. A career 39.8% 3-point shooter, and attempting over 4 of them per game, you really can't argue against that. He should be a perfect fit for their offense. He can both catch and shoot from the 3-point line, run low post plays and score from there when there's a mismatch on him, or even run the pick and roll for them. Definitely a versatile player to add to their offense, and it should be a dynamic combination for them. However, they did not give up Randle alone to get Karl Towns. They had to give up Divencenzo with him, and that definitely will hurt. You know, Divencenzo is coming off a breakout season, averaging 15.5 points per game, about 4 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, and shooting 40.1% from 3 on nearly 9 attempts per game. Yeah, pretty dynamic. Great year for them, has become a great shooting guard and really appeared to be part of their long-term future. Was on a pretty good contract and definitely appeared to fit within their team, not only from an on-the-court standpoint, but an off-the-court standpoint too. A lot of people have already donned the Knicks, the Nova Knicks, from Divencenzo, Brunson, Bridges in college being teammates, Josh Hart as well. So that was definitely chemistry they were looking forward to and already had bought into the idea of it, both their team and the fan base as well. So that definitely hurts, no Divencenzo anymore, a really good 3-and-D wing for them, not only offensively with that scoring ability and 3-point shooting, but a really good wing defender for them as well. And they didn't replace that through the trade. I think Karl Anthony Towns was without a doubt an upgrade over Julius Randle, both from a talent and fit standpoint again, but let's not forget to factor in Divencenzo here. That might come back to haunt them, maybe even from a depth standpoint. The Knicks already are going through a few injuries, albeit within their front court, not really their back court, but that definitely did hurt. Divencenzo has looked at to fill a big role for their team this season, even while he was likely being viewed to come off the bench. He probably would have filled about a 28-minute per game kind of role, kind of sharing that 6-man role with Josh Hart, so they won't have that anymore. And with that being said, a lot more will be put on both Josh Hart and Deuce McBride to pick it up for him. They won't have that scoring punch off the bench from Divencenzo, so McBride will be filling a bigger role. Hart will be filling a big role again, obviously, but let's not forget about Divencenzo here. But then from the other side of things, I get why the T-Wolves did it, primarily from a money standpoint. They kind of needed to offload Cat's salary, with Ant's contract kicking in soon, them having to pay other guys as well. They're going to be having a big payroll, and they already do right now, being over the second tax apron, and it's only going to grow over time. So they probably did need to offload his salary, whether that be Cat or maybe Rudy Gobert in the future. But trading Cat was definitely easier to do than trading Rudy Gobert would have been. So I get why they did it, but I don't love it from a fit standpoint. I think Randle helps them from a scoring standpoint. He's probably a better low post scoring option than Karl Anthony Towns in some situations anyway. And he does fit from that standpoint, but I don't love it from a floor spacing standpoint. Again, Randle is definitely a 3-point shooting downgrade compared to Cat, and pairing him with Rudy Gobert, I don't really see how that works for them. The space in the court's going to shrink considerably for guys like Anthony Edwards, Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and now Donte DiVincenzo coming off their bench as well, or likely to be coming off their bench. And although I do like the addition of DiVincenzo for their team, I think they needed that self-creating guard for them off the bench, or maybe in their starting lineup, I don't really know. I really don't love the fit again of Randle, and I'm not sure why they would go away from what works so well for them. They appear to be a really great team with more room to grow within the Western Conference, so I don't really like the idea of moving Cat quite yet. I would have definitely preferred again for them to trade Gobert, definitely from a long-term standpoint as well. Probably not as easy to do again, but I don't love the idea of trading Cat. I thought he fit really well within their offense, and although they had to make up for him on defense, I thought it would have worked long term with their great perimeter defense between McDaniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Ant's a pretty good defender, and overall having a really good team defense. I don't really love that they did it from a fit standpoint and overall team future standpoint as well. Who knows, maybe it'll work out for them, or maybe they're not done making moves quite yet. Maybe they might end up trading Randle to a different team or move on from him eventually down the road at the trade deadline, I don't know. Or maybe they even will make it work with him, who knows. You know, I definitely don't love it again from an overall fit standpoint nor long-term future standpoint, but they definitely did make their payroll a lot easier, and maybe more moves could be coming in the future. But with that being said, what do you guys think? Whether you're a Knicks fan, a T-Wolves fan, or simply an NBA fan in general, how do you view the trade? Who do you think won, and where do you think the best fit ended up being? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to drop a like, hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and turn on notifications so you never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.